Hello everyone, it's Peter back in with our Marvel content chain video. And today I'm going to be starting a monthly tier list that is going to go on every single month. But with this first installment here, I thought it just makes sense to start the tier list with short 6 video series, just breaking down each of the separate classes because that's how I've divided up the tier list. And going forward, I'm just going to be talking about all classes as a whole and only going over the new stuff. But yeah, for the most part, I just wanted to take a look at all the different classes because, there's 300 champions in the game, and that's way too much to go in one video. And being that this is the start of a tier list, I think it should, I should introduce it and talk about all the characters briefly and why they are in the tier that they are. So yeah, beginning with the science class, I'm also eating sour cream and onion chips. No particular reason, though the bag is green, so it's fitting. But let's start off with all of the emojis. So you'll see that, the tier list is littered with emojis, and this is very common practice for if you look at other people's tier lists. So the star means that they want to be awakened. If the arm is there, that means they want high sig. Now, if you see this, you won't see the arm and the star at the same time. If you see the arm, obviously that means you wanted them to be awakened. So I chose to leave the star out and just, you assume if they want a high sig, they want to be awakened. If they benefit from recoils, and when I say benefits from recoils, that either means they just benefit from having a bleed or poison debuff on them, or they either have immunities, they don't require a lot of specials to throw, or if they reduce it, or they reduce the poison and bleed damage, that means willpower healing, so I count that as a massive benefit, because that's a lot of willpower healing. Also, benefits from relic, you'll see the little Easter Stonehenge guy. Again, every champion benefits from a relic than not having a relic, but I'm just talking about those champions that go above and beyond with a relic. And then the shield is for defensive prowess, and for some characters I've given them 2 shields, which just notes that they are some of the most powerful defenders in the game. So you'll see 1 or 2 shields. If they have the little heart, that means they want a synergy. If they have the little dude in the shades, that requires skill. And if you got this little sweating emoji, that's just my personal bias. I made this tier list. Obviously, my time in the game has been different from you guys's, and you guys's are different than everyone else's. I think, whether I like it or not, this tier list does have a little bit of bias in there, so I just want to note, if I believe there's bias, that I just wanted to show you guys. So if you think I put someone really higher than you have put them, it might just because I'm a little biased. And then if you got this little praying emoji, that's just I'm unsure and I need some help. In the comments. Thinking of a promotion, I give them a thumbs up. If I'm thinking about demoting them, I'm giving them a thumbs down. And you won't be seeing any of these in this video, but if you got the blue arrows, that just means they are promoted, demoted, or they are a new entry / buff or nerf. Now, with all that being said, let's just start at the top, baby. So, actually, before I get into the champions in the tiers, let's talk about the tiers. So, starting in trash, these champions are trash. If you pull them, it's a bad day. You don't want to invest any resources in them, no gold, not even ISO if possible. These champions desperately need a buff, and there's really nothing they do aside from ruin your day if you pull them. Now mid, it's they're a step above trash. If you pull them, you're still probably having a bad day. It's why did I pull this guy? But they still, in my opinion, are useful. If they're mid, they're not great, but it could be worse, essentially. Now great is, great. These are some average pulls. They can do things that you need them to do. They're just not the super top option. Amazing is when you start to get characters that's if you pull them, that's great. You could definitely rank them up, and there shouldn't really be any questions asked. They are above and beyond champions that don't just do the bare minimum like some of the greats do. These guys do that and extras, essentially, what I'm trying to get at. Now the God tier are just phenomenal champions. They are really good. If you get them, you're probably having a great day. But Beyond God tier is when like you just have some of the best champions in the game of that class that can really just do whatever you need them to do for the most part. I mean, obviously this is a big complicated game. There's not really one champion that can do everything, but if they're in Beyond God tier, there is a lot they can do, and they can do what they do extremely well. Now with that being said, let's start in Beyond God tier. So we have Quake here, who is only 5-star locked, and I feel like if you have a character that's 5-star locked because of how broken they are, they kind of have to be in Beyond God tier. Also, I know Legacy has it where it's like if you're 6-star restricted or below, you can't really be a Beyond God tier champ. I don't really vibe with that. I think like overall, if a champion is really good and they deserve a spot, they get the spot. I'm not really factoring in whether or not they are a 6-star or 7-star or not. However, being a 7-star is a plus because of stat focus. So yeah, Quake, obviously Beyond God tier champ. She's so busted, she can't be released as a 6-star or a 7-star. So she kind of, so one would give her a tier of her own. I'm just going to put her in Beyond God tier. Now Hulk OG, man was a simple champion, but oh my god, is he effective. He is extremely, he is so tough. If you get him awakened, he is a really good defender as well. If you, his stuns are long and massive, and you can just stun lock until the opponent is dead. There's not really a lot Hulk can't do, unless it kind of messes with his flow. But even then, you still can just play with your special 2, which is insane amounts of damage. He's just so incredibly simple to play, and yeah, I'm a little biased towards Hulk. If you want to put him in God tier, I wouldn't blame you, but I think Hulk is just so incredibly strong just because of his stun lock potential alone. And I would consider him recoils friendly, even though it requires a lot of throwing of the special ones, only because I think the recoils can increase his damage where it would limit you from needing to throw additional specials. Spider-Ham. So Spider-Ham is another crazy character. He is just absolutely the best power sting champion in the game. And paired with that Ant-Man relic, he's just even crazier. He has some defensive potential, and just his power sting damage is crazy. If you get those special 3 power stings, the opponent is usually dead. And power sting damage is something that's not easily countered unless you have champions who can shrug it off. And then obviously you just don't want to bring Spider-Ham against his matchups. But everything else, he can just absolutely shred. Scorpion. Another story alongside Spider-Ham. He does a lot of power sting damage, but he also has a crazy amount of utility. And if you get him awakened, he has some of the best regeneration in the game. And once again, you want to pair him with the Ant-Man relic, it'll just make his damage and power stings that much more better. And like I said, he just got so much more utility, and he still is able to dish out so much damage. And some would even consider him the best science champion in the game. Honestly, I don't know who I'd consider the best science champion in the game. I don't think there's one you could point at, in my opinion, but Scorpion is definitely on that list. Someone else who might be on that list is Photon. So Photon is not only just a powerful defender, as you can see, she's got the 2 shields. She is an incredibly strong attacker with tons of utility. She just got so much at her disposal to counter specific fights, and I think she is just such a phenomenal champion, both on defense and as an attacker. And then Count Nefaria, I've seen some people consider this to be the best science champion in the game. He has a bit of a weird playstyle, which is why I gave him the guy in the shades, just because he's not your average champion. He is also kind of matchup dependent, where it's if it's all about, I'm pretty sure it's all about dashing or pairing special attacks, and you want to make sure you're throwing him against champions with specific kinds of special attacks that are kind of short, allowing you to get maximum damage. But he is also just a champion that can just take on fights he has no business doing, like serpents and bullseyes and all that kind of stuff. So he's definitely earned himself in the Beyond God tier. Alright, now as we get down, I'm going to spend less time talking about champions, just because I do want to make sure this video is not super long. But I mean, Torch, he's a no-brainer. Torch is one of the OG best science champions in the game. The only reason he's not in Beyond God tier is because he's kind of fallen off when compared to the rest of these science champions in the game. Alongside, same thing with Spider-Man 2099, still a phenomenal champion. He's just fallen off a bit. And Red Guardian, I'm actually thinking about promoting him just because he's been added as a 7-star, and that stat focus is actually really, really good for him. So yeah, let me know. Do you think Red Guardian should be in the Beyond God tier? I would not be opposed to it. Same thing with Titania. I didn't give her the thumbs up. Maybe I should have. But yeah, Titania, just a phenomenal champion. I think most people know that. And then Silk, she requires a bit of skill to play. And wants that awakened ability at high sig. And once she has all that kind of stuff, she's able to just plow through like almost anything. I personally just don't think she's Beyond God tier worthy with the rest of these guys. She-Hulk Deathlift. She is a super simple character, kind of plays like regular She-Hulk, but in my opinion, I think she's better. Because I think she does more damage consistently, and it's less RNG because how she works is she actually gets increased RNG to put on the traumas, but then it loses ability accuracy the more trauma she has. So it's actually a lot, you'll get that burst a lot faster. And when I say burst, I mean burst. She is able to dish out like 100k damage special 2s like it's nothing. And yeah, I think she's super recoil friendly because you don't really even need to use special attacks with her, and she's got that poison immunity. And yeah, I'm thinking about promoting her. I have her as a 7-star rank 3. I love her. She can do pretty much anything I need her to do. And I definitely think she is like the best Deathless champion, except for Thanos, of course. Which, I mean, when you compare it to the other Deathless champion, it's not like that big of a compliment, but she's really good. She's really good. And then Spider-Woman. So, from what I've seen so far, she is super duper insane. I don't know if I'm being too optimistic with her, putting her in God tier. But if you think she belongs beyond God tier, think she's fine as is, or deserves to be demoted, let me know in the comments. Spot, I think, is a phenomenal champion as well. He has another weird playstyle, so he's got the shades, he's still got his defensive prowess, and he's really, really good with, I think it's the Captain America relic. And yeah, you just want him high sig. Now, he also used to be an OG Beyond God tier champion. Again, I think he's fallen off a bit. So yeah, that's all the God tier champions. Now the Amazing, again, these are your really, really good above average champions. And yeah, we got Luke Cage after his buff, which is really good. You just want him awakened. Mortal Abomination, now that he is a 7-star, I think he's definitely moved from, this bottom half to the top half. And yeah, just getting him awakened at a high sig just makes his acid burns last longer, meaning you'll deal more damage over time. Overseer, still a phenomenal champion. Quicksilver, he's a little trickier play. I'm not personally the big fan, but like, I can't deny that he's still a really good character. Cassie Lang, honestly, like, people always say that this character is like God tier, beyond God tier champion, but I just don't see anything to back it up. No one plays Cassie Lang. So, does that mean she belongs in great? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I forgot to put the thing about demoting, but yeah, I'm thinking about demoting her just because, like, is anyone even able to back up their claims that she's, like, belongs in the top 2 ranks? I don't know. And then, yeah, Jessica Jones. So, yeah, Jessica Jones, I'm going to be honest, she's kind of just here because of how good of a defender she is. I don't really see her have that much value as an attacker. I don't think she has that much utility. She's just kind of a pain in the ass. But honestly, all you really need is that slow champion, and you could pretty much get through her without a problem. And then, yeah, She-Hulk. So the reason She-Hulk is in Amazing and not God tier is just because I think Deathless She-Hulk is She-Hulk but better. Like, I think Deathless She-Hulk is just a whole tier above She-Hulk. It's like, why play this She-Hulk when you could play this She-Hulk? Like, the only reason you would play OG She-Hulk is if you need someone with slow, but there's so many other champions in the game that have slow that you could probably play over She-Hulk. And like I said, she's just the inferior She-Hulk, so I just put her one tier under Deathless She-Hulk. Sentry, he is so good with the buff. However, I've been looking a bit into him. After seeing the Thunderbolts, I pulled the 7-star. I really wanted to get into him, and just from what I saw, I didn't really like it that much. The ramp is all weird and stuff like that, and he seems a bit impractical to me, so kind of want to demote him. I'm a little underwhelmed with him. Let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy or am I wrong? let me know. Now I think Thing is a really good champion. I think, you know, he's got the little heart there. He wants that synergy with the champion. I think that's, you know, makes Thing such a powerful attacker. A little bit outdated though. I don't really see you bringing the Thing in with the champion synergy. So, you know, he only stays in amazing. He's still got a lot of immunities, and he still got his defensive prowess, especially if he's awakened at high sig. Morbius is a little annoying on defense with that, like, I don't know what it is, like that unblockable dash attack. And yeah, he kind of just has a lot of big burst, nothing else, but, you know, it's so much burst damage, still got that defensive potential. I decided to boost him up from great to amazing. Also, my friend recently pulled him on a new PC account, and he's been loving him, so, you know what, I threw him a bone, put Morbius in amazing. Spider-Punk is also a pretty good champion. I don't think he has a ton of utility, but he is a really fun character, has a lot of damage, and he's a pain in the ass on defense, in my opinion. Joe Fixit, he also has some damage potential. He wants that high sig, though, and he's got a lot of utility. So, and from what I've seen, you know, a lot of people love him. I've seen a lot of good things with him, so he deserves to be an amazing, not great. Alright, so great. Ant-Man, fantastic. Red Hulk, I mean, like, they're standard science champion. You know, Red Hulk's got a lot of burst. Mr. Fantastic's got a lot of utility. Ant-Man's got a bit of both, but nothing that really pushed them over the edge. Now, this is, I think, is going to be the biggest hot take, but I don't think Void is that great of a champion. In fact, I'm actually thinking about demoting him. Now, you might be thinking, why do you think Void is that bad? I just think he has aged like milk. His damage is very lacking. You just need to constantly just throw special ones. He's just such a boring playstyle. It's RNG reliant. Like, I think there are just so many science champions that can do what he does, but better, and it's guaranteed. Like, even someone like Sandman, who's here, I think is a more effective than Void. He's got more utility. He can guarantee that you get petrifies on an opponent, and he's got the decelerates to mitigate slow. I think Void is just, you know, a worse version of Sandman, or even Anti-Venom, who can also kind of do what Void can do, but better and has more utility, in my opinion. So yeah, I personally am thinking about demoting Void. Also, with the investment in his SIG, you definitely wanted to get to SIG 200, and honestly, for a champion who is still, again, RNG related, I think it's a bit of a waste. So that's my take on Void. That's my little rant, my little hot take. But we also got Immortal Hulk, who I actually think is a pretty good champion. I've been playing him a ton on my own new PC account, and I actually got him very early on as a 4-star, and he's just plowing through stuff. I am definitely an Immortal Hulk fan, hence the little biased emoji, and I actually am thinking about promoting him. I really like Immortal Hulk so much. OG Abomination, another bias of mine. He pair him with Red Guardian, and Abomination OG just does so much poison damage. Unfortunately, he's definitely not getting promoted. He has like one paragraph of abilities. He doesn't have any utility. He's just got poison damage. He's simple to play, and I mean, his synergy partner is Red Guardian, who's someone I'm thinking about putting in Beyond God tier. So I think he's a step up from mid, as long as he has the synergy and you can poison the opponent. Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative is a character I don't know too much about. I know he's not the craziest character, and he requires a little bit of skill to play, but, you know, from what I've seen, he doesn't really compare to any of the champions in Amazing, so that's why he's in Great. Spider-Gwen, another character that I really like, and I actually think this is an appropriate spot to put her, despite me really enjoying her. I think she's, you know, better than most people put her. I think she's still, you know, a phenomenal great champion, who doesn't require a lot. You know, you kind of want that awakened ability, just get like some extra duration on her Hunter Spider, I think it's called, from the Special 3, and that just gives you some more burst damage. And I just gave her the heart. She doesn't really need the Venom synergy, but allows her to get one more charge, which increases her damage and increases the duration of the Hunter Spider from the Special 3. Alright, I mean, not really going to spend too long on the characters from mid or trash. You know, I'm going to pick a couple characters. You know, Captain America Infinity War, I think, is actually, I'll give Void some praise. Captain America Infinity War is worse than Void, because not only does he need synergies, which I totally forgot to put for him. Yeah, not only does he need synergies, he wants that SIG level at 200. There's no 199. He wants 200, just to guarantee that he puts on the debuffs union too. And I think that investment is crazy for all the things he required. He needs Sig 200. He needs synergies. Like that won't cut it today. His damage is still pretty good, but his utility is so demanding, and I don't think a champion can just do damage and nothing else. And it's not like he has the craziest, most consistent damage in the game. He wants a crit with the special 2 after getting 5 of his charges. And yeah, he wants the crit, and you know, he doesn't have the best crit rate. So I think Captain America Infinity War is just a mid character now. Gladiator Hulk, he's decent. He can do some stuff, like he counters a lot of some BS damage in the game, but his damage is so lacking. Like he's not great. He needs a buff. Like he's not Hulk. Invisible Woman, she's just such an impractical champion to play. I don't think it's worth investing time and resources into her. I think I would like to see her get like a full rework with like a different playstyle. It's kind of like just like Stark Spidey but on steroids, except it's not as fun, and messing up just completely resets all your it's like if parrying got rid of all of Stark Spidey's poise charges, and also the poise charges weren't as effective. Like, they didn't give him that much of the benefits as it does now. Miles Morales, I think, is just a character who's fallen off. I've literally never seen anyone play Miles Morales outside of, like, since the Korean's challenges where you needed to use Spider-Man characters in Abyss. Like, I have not seen a single person play Miles Morales since then. Leader is a character, I remember he was mid. I didn't, like, find him too fulfilling to play. I think he got buffed, or he's getting buffed, but, you know, I need help. I'm still a little unfamiliar with this character. Joaquin Torres is probably one of the worst new characters, like, ever. He is just so underwhelming. His target matchup is Enchantress, and even that he's okay at. And he's just such a bad champion. Spider-Man OG, probably one of the most underwhelming buffs in the game. Just, come on. They did not do justice to Spider-Man OG, in my opinion. Alright, and then Trash. I mean, a lot of these are self-explanatory. Rhino, he doesn't do anything. He's got that unstoppable and that unblockable sometimes, but I mean, I'm not going to give him any points for that. And then both Captain Americas, they don't really do anything. Captain America World War II has a big, or I won't even say it's a moderate SP2 bleed that triggers sometimes. It's not worth it. Captain America needs some love. I want to see Captain America OG get that Iron Man and Cyclops treatment so bad. Either of them. Honestly, bro, it's a waste that there's two caps that take up slots in the game. Yellow Jacket. Honestly, I take it back from OG Spider-Man. Yellow Jacket is probably one of the most underwhelming buffs in the game. He's just doesn't really do anything. His damage is nothing. His utility is nothing. He's just got some defensive prowess, which I think is, like, good, but I don't think he's even mid. I think he's trash. MODOK. MODOK is trash. I think at this point, his gimmick of auto-blocking 24/7 is not really doing it anymore. His block efficiency is pretty low. There's so many characters that can counter auto-block, ignore auto-block, go unstoppable, or not unstoppable, unblockable. MODOK just, he's not cutting it anymore. I think he's mid, and I'm pretty sure he's getting a rework. I think I heard somewhere that MODOK was getting one. I could be misremembering, but fingers crossed. Fingers crossed MODOK gets a buff, and it's good. Although I don't want him to be a very annoying defender again. Please, please, keep... No, don't buff MODOK in defensive, please. And then Electro. So Electro, he's got that synergy, just because I do remember seeing him being paired with some characters makes him a bit better, but it's so niche. It requires a couple synergies just for a champion who's mid. Oh, that's my dog. And yeah, he's still got some defensive prowess because hitting him makes you take some damage back. So you do want some characters that have no contact, and there's a lot of them in the game now, or that just straight up reduce ability accuracy. So again, similar to MODOK, Electro's gimmick is kind of just nothing at this point. And yeah, that is the entire science class. I think that was a while. But that's just going to show you why I decided to break up the before I start making these a monthly thing with like new entries and stuff like that. I wanted to break them all up into one separate video for each of the classes. And yeah, that's just because, you know, I think you gotta understand why I'm putting characters in the spot they want to. And yeah, like I said, if there's anything here you disagree with, let me know why, and I can update it for the new and improved next month's thing, where I just go over everything and only talk about the new stuff. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and goodbye.